All right, I think I'm live. Yes, I'm recording. All right, so today I have a special guest, and I actually didn't get the pronunciation of your name. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Taslim. You can
Taslim?
call me Taz.
Taz? Okay, I got it. All right, perfect. So I was on board. So I'm so excited to have you on the show. Before we dive into and I start asking you some questions, I just kind of want to let everyone know how I found you. I found you on Instagram and I was instantly drawn into your page because of the mutual love that we both have for running as well as holistic wellness. So when I started seeing your posts, I seen you're really into the whole year Vedic and all of that. I'm like, I've got to follow this girl. We got to learn from her. So I reached out and here we are today. So my first question for you is, who are you and what do you do? What do you offer to the world?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's been a real pleasure to be able to connect with like-minded people. And similar, like what you have mentioned, as soon as I was saw you on my Instagram feed, your page is really full of informative content around holistic wellness. So definitely, we share a lot of mutual passions. So definitely, pleasure to be here. Starting with myself, so I am a person who wear many hats. I have a corporate career. I'm in technology and banking. Really an interesting niche. So that's my 9 to 5 work. Aside from that, I'm also a blogger. I run a blog over pursuittoself.com, which I launched last year. Also, I'm a holistic wellness and transformational coach. So I love helping others going through the similar life journey that I have gone through. But I guess for me, the most title that I personally resonate with is I'm a lifelong learner. I consider myself as an experimenter. You can call me, I'm a self development junkie. Any experimentation is out there, whether it's based on ancient wisdom or scientific studies, anything to really holistically help and improve our mind, body, and soul. I'll be trying and testing out all the new tools, techniques, and concepts. So that's me.
That's why we connected so much because I love that you mentioned that we're lifelong learners and I feel like that's the way to go these days. And, just to consistently work on improving yourself and learning new things, trying new things and all of that. So that's awesome. And I'm also in the financial profession as well. So with you, I'm juggling many hats. It can also often be challenging.
I
so,
totally can imagine.
so I know in one of our conversations you mentioned that 2017 was a turning point year for you. Tell us about that. It's always interesting to hear
Yeah.
the stories from others and what they go through.
Definitely. So, 2017, where my life hit rock bottom, I have achieved up until that point of life, I have achieved all so-called material success that anyone could imagine. So I achieved everything, and then I lost, including my long-term relationship,
Mm,
my health, financially. I had a lot of debt at that point of time, and in overall, I was at a very dark place where I had a very low self-confidence and esteem. So that's definitely been my turning point in my life. Up until now, just to give you a bit more context where my life was, I was again one of the traditional people. I came to Australia when I was 21 to do my post graduation, and I just straight away fell in love with this country. It just
mhm,
really called my soul, so I settled down here. And then since then, I kind of followed the social blueprint that society tells us that you gotta have highest education degree that possible, climb the corporate ladder, earn money, have a family, have house, have cars, have children, and that's the secret formula to get a happy life. So I followed that blueprint and I achieved everything. But again, life had a different plan for me. So I lost it
mhm,
everything. And that's where I realized and I found myself questioning where did I go wrong? I have followed the blueprint, why I'm still at such a miserable place. I had a lot of things in my life, but again, one point, I was not fulfilled entirely. I felt like I had more things I wanted to give to others. I'm still searching for my life purpose. So again, during that period, I ended a long-term relationship, my marriage. I was married before,
Mm.
so everything had a really toll on my overall well-being. I'd gone through severe depression cycle as
Mm.
well, but then I had to slowly build up my life from that rock bottom, and I'm so glad that I had that experience. That was definitely been really a foundational time for my soul growth in this lifetime.
Yeah, it sounds like, and it sounds like that's what sparked Pursuit to Health, your journey. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Speaking of Pursuit to Health, I know Pursuit to Health. I know you have some amazing things coming up with that. So we'd love to hear about it. I know you have some coaching programs coming and what's next.
Yeah. Yes, so the pursuit to self, again, right now, since I juggle many hats, so finding a time and opportunity has been quite a challenging.
Hmm.
But this year, I have really had strong focus where I really wanted to create a dedicated program for individual who is looking to holistically really build the foundational of health, overall wellness plus developing growth mindset, which again always the key, and then also aligning your soul journey or the purpose and the spirituality, because I feel often we focus on one area and neglect the other, but if we
So true.
wanted to live a fully abundant life that we all have birthright to, and we wanted to really create a dream life, yes, you can start at one aspect, but over the period, you have to focus on balancing all of those three areas.
Hmm.
So my program that I'm designing right now, I'm hoping to release in the quarter 1 of this calendar year, will really help individuals to develop the foundation when it comes to mind, body, soul alignment and
Hmm.
overall wellness. And then also, I'm really hoping to take more and more one-on-one coaching, which again, my passion. I love connecting with people. I love hearing story and sharing my story to help others. Again, I have structured my time for this year where I really wanted to deep dive into my purpose and mission, which is again
Hmm.
helping others.
I love that you say it's you have to combine all of the elements because it's so true. When you're just focused on one, everything else goes haywire. I've experienced that in my own past of just, just doing too much of one thing and then my health gets neglected or not tapping into my spiritual health and I'm just like feeling all over the place, like I'm walking around without a purpose. So I love that you're combining those three elements. People need to do more of it. I feel
Definitely.
like so many people focus just on the nutrition part of it and the exercise part of it, but they're not really thinking about the whole complete package that goes with your health and wellness. So that's awesome. Very
That's
awesome.
absolutely. I think it really also depends down to for anyone who, what particular phase of their life they're in and what is their immediate struggle. When I started my true transformation in 2017, at that time, as I mentioned, I had a lot of challenges. It wasn't only the
Mhm.
health. I also had very not good conditioning, mental conditioning that would help me prepare for my life purpose. So at that point in time, I realized that I really had to first focus on my health because if I'm not well, I won't be able to give my full
Right.
uh, best, or I won't be able to buy best version. So I really focused on initially starting with the health. But again, yes, you can get motivated to go for a run one day, but if you wanted to build a lifestyle, then you really then need to change your mindset. So that's where I always been drawn to how our brain works, how our subconscious brain runs our life. So that's where I got into more and more neuroscience, understanding about our mental health, and obviously for depression at that time. So I
Hmm.
was really trying to find any tools and technique that would help me to build that mental muscle and resiliency. And then obviously your spirituality or life purpose automatically comes into the whole package.
Right. So true. So very true. Very, very inspiring. Just hearing everyone's stories, I'm just it blows me away every time I hear someone's transformation because just it's very inspiring and amazing. So, is there anything?
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
one thing I think I wanted to know from you, we both share our love for running. Tell
yeah,
me more about that. I would love to know.
yeah. So, when did I start running? I started running. Oh goodness, 2012, I believe it was when I really got into it. I remember going to a local college and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna see if I can get around this track once. And I could only get around like a quarter of it. And then before I knew it, it was like 50% of it. Then I was doing the whole lap. And then eventually I was doing miles. And then it would just always be up and down, through the years. Like I would have my years where I'm like really hard into running and then, I kind of stopped. But yeah, since 2012, 2013 is when I initially started running. Actually, I think it might have been a little bit longer than that. I now have to go back in my brain and think about this. I think it was like 2011, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and then what year was it? About 2014, 15, I joined a running community. And, that keeps you going too, because every year there's always a race here, a race there, running friend, like, hey, let's go run, let's go do this. There's do this half marathon with me. And, so that kept me motivated as well. So last year, I didn't do so good with my running because of the COVID and everything got canceled. I did have races. I was signed up for several races, but they all got canceled. But that's kind of where my journey began. What about you?
I kind of started in 2017 again because at that point, up until that point, I've never been a person who loved gym or liked gym or any kind of exercise. So I always had a negative connotation associated with the exercise. But at that point, I knew I was 35 kilo overweight. I was at my heaviest point of my life. I knew that I needed to lose some weight and shred more so that I can get my health back on. And I didn't like the gym, so I was trying to find out a avenue how I still can be active. So that's where one of my mentor he inspired me to go for a run, and I said I couldn't even walk barely,
Yeah.
let alone run. And I still managed to go. So we have a really nice neighborhood near my place
Yes, I've seen.
where really beautiful running tracks. So
Yes.
I go for runs. So I started my run journey there. So first few weeks, even months, I didn't like it at all. I could barely even finish like 1 or 2 kilometer. But then slowly, I just fell in love with it,
You
and
do.
it's literally been a game changer. It is my life. So which started with more as a weight loss. Uh, journey. Now it's
Right.
like my life. I don't go for run now for physical movement perspective. Yes, it definitely helps. I have other form of exercise that I do on a daily basis, but running is for me mentally to build the resiliency. And I feel like when I go for the long run now, at certain point, I just don't feel my body. I don't, and I
Yeah.
run obviously outside. I just connect with Mother Nature.
Yes.
All my ideas, all my deeper questions answer come through when I go for run. It's just best thing.
It really is. And I love that you mentioned like connecting with Mother Nature. That's my main reason for loving running is just getting outside because we're stuck at our cubicles or our desk, well, home desk nowadays all day long. So it's just nice to be able to get outside, get some fresh air circulating through you. And it is very therapeutic. My sister, I lost a niece back in 2017, and my sister has turned to running as her therapy, and it really helps her get through those dark days. So there really is a lot of therapy behind running. So love that you mentioned that and that you brought that up, which actually leads us to our next question. So we kind of know a little bit about what you do to take care of your physical health. What are you doing? Like what self care routines or rituals do you do to take care of your mental, physical health or spiritual health?
Yeah, definitely. Love that question. I think again, for any transformation to happen, as I mentioned, you have to definitely at certain point look at holistically how your life. If I'm just focusing on my diet or nutrition or movement, that's
Mhm.
one part. But then it's not going to become a lifestyle for me to sustain over the period of time. So that's where, again, I was very drawn into growth mindset, and I definitely practice growth mindset in my life, and I coach others. And that's probably one thing, the best gift we can give ourselves just to develop a growth mindset. I have a really detailed article on my blog, Pursuit to Self, where I share also different ways you can develop a growth mindset. And
Okay.
definitely some of them are also incorporated in my daily routine. So I'm a really routine person. I
Yeah.
love spontaneity, but again, at the same time, I believe the life that I wanted to build and the mission that I'm here on are to help others. I need to ensure I fill up my own cup. I bring my best version at every interaction I have with any human being. So for me, that again comes down to how I prepare my mind and body and soul every single day. Yes, there is a periodic, like monthly or throughout the year, you can do different, like a stronger fasting or other ritual to give you that extra boost. But I believe the biggest transformation result you see when it comes to your day to day, how you look
Right.
after your mind, body, and soul. So, in short, I have my morning ritual and I have my evening
I
ritual,
love it.
which again serve me different purpose. Usually, my morning ritual is mainly waking up before or around sunrise because that's the best time to wake up.
Yes.
Again, going back to the Ayurvedic
Mhm.
knowledge and ancient wisdom. So I wake up, I have my morning meditation. I usually do a form of breath work. And then, depending on that particular day, I usually do guided meditation or
Mhm.
I do just a silent meditation by myself. Then if certain days, I'm not a big on journaling, but if certain days, if I feel like I wanted to express my thought or feeling for the day, I usually do my gratitude journal in the morning.
Right.
And then I do some form of stretching or movement. I usually do my heavy workout around in the evening. So in the morning, usually I find what works best for my body type. Again, according to the Ayurvedic knowledge, is just a simple form of either walk or yoga or just a stretching, simple stretching. So that's pretty much my very short form of morning routine,
Yeah.
and that kind of gives me enough in my mindset to just prepare for my busy day ahead.
Right.
The next part is actually my evening routine, which is again I
Yeah.
really love, and it took me few years actually to develop that routine and make it really customized for myself. And I feel like now I'm in a place where I really found the best combination that really works for me and gives me the result, which again always start with a run or some sort of a activity like a physical activity. Usually I go for my evening run first, followed by some sort of a weight training.
Mhm.
Or heat workout or resistance training. So movement is definitely the first part. And the reason I like to do the movement first before, because a lot of time during the day, um, if you're out of your energy or if you're out
Right.
of your creativity, kind of, I feel like kind of I have sometime like late afternoon brain fog. So when I start
Happens. Yeah.
any sort of a, yeah, exactly, any sort of a exercise, it just literally get me into the better state. So it relieves the hormones scientifically, if you wanted to say, that really makes you feel good. So I really want to try to get myself in a high vibrational state. So that's
Yes.
my the movement part. And then I fresh up, and then I do my evening meditation, and that I usually try to do a bit longer meditation, and that's where I try to go really inward and try to ask any questions or really understanding what's happening for the day and how do I better prepare myself. And I have a motto: by the time I go to bed, I really try to go to bed with a clean slate. So whatever has happened for the day, I like to leave behind that day, knowing that I have given my best shot. So after that meditation, it's time for me to do some sort of a learning. So
Hmm.
again, going back to the growth mindset, I usually, depending on again the day of what I'm feeling, either I usually do any form of reading. So I love reading. I love reading.
So
So any type of reading, and mostly it would be something around mind, body, soul topic, or personal development or biography, autobiographies. So I read them, and then I do any type of other creative, I guess, exercise or activity to just help me relax, and that doesn't take me to go on my laptop or mobile phone. But again, that will still stimulate my brain and just relax me overall. So that's pretty much, I guess,
that's
my routine.
awesome.
But
You have a
thank
great.
you. But one thing also, go ahead.
Oh no, it's like your routine is like spectacular. I love it.
It definitely helps. And I think what it really also comes down to, and I share with others as well, if you really wanted to focus on, again, holistic wellness, you really have to find your own routine.
Right.
You can definitely get inspired from others, you can definitely learn from others, but at the end of the day, you have to really build a routine that really truly resonates to you, and how again, it gives the results. So I think it's not a one size fits all approach. You should really learn and get inspired from others. But again, at the end of the day, you build your own routine. And that's what I've done
Yes.
for myself.
It's a lot of trialing and
How
error.
about that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. The other thing I was going to share with you, as to again continue my growth mindset or developing growth mindset, I usually do a challenge every month. Either it comes again when I shared with you that I love doing any experimentation with the tools and techniques. So usually on a monthly basis, I have a goal that one new ideas I wanted to incorporate in my life, try and test it. Either it's experimenting with cold shower
Oh, I
or any
love.
type of a breath work,
Right.
anything that takes me outside of my comfort zone and that still challenge me so that I can still continue to grow. Or it could be again any course or a lesson that I need to take to sharpen my professional skills. So definitely, but again, I always have one particular habit that I wanted to build each
Mhm.
month, and I do it for 30 days. Sometimes I continue, I love it at the end of the month, and then I continue to become my lifestyle. Other times, maybe I just try and I feel how it goes. If it's not serving me, then I don't do it.
No, love it. Love it. I have a question for you. So what is your secret to the early morning piece of it? Because I've
Oh,
tried.
wow. Oh, that's a great question. And to be really honest, I never used to be a morning person. I'm always evening person, and I always used to say before that my creativity start after 3 p.m. The more the night gets young, I just really burst with energies or creativities and ideas. But what it really comes down to is preparing how. So over the years, I have tried and tested in different ways how I can be a better morning person, and definitely it takes trials and error. But what I felt is the secret lies behind how I prepared the night before. Hence, I really invest at least an hour and a half every evening to prepare for my mind, body, soul, and also doing the just a simple act like if I'm going out the next day or going for work, I just figure out what I need to wear. If I have a busy day ahead, I know I have to do a lot of things. I just journal or I write down on my phone that I know, okay, these are the items I need to do. So I have that plan sorted. And in the morning, I just don't wake up and feel all over the place what I need to
Right.
do. So I think it really comes down to how you prepare the night before.
That's what I'm
And
learning.
sleep
Yeah.
is again a very key part. And personally, I always have a love hate relationship with sleep. Um, but I think having a quality sleep is really important.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I'm writing now a blog post which will come in 2 weeks' time about sleep because during the last few weeks, the holiday period, I really struggled with the sleep and I had to apply a lot of tools and techniques to really help me have a good night's sleep so that in the
Yes.
morning I wake up rested and that. So yeah, so that probably would be my few top tips.
Yes.
Definitely have a good night's sleep is important. It's not depending on which person you. It's not the number of hours you're sleeping; it's the quality of the sleep is really
True.
important.
Yes. Yes, that is so true. I have the Fitbit and I would track because it like tracks like your REM
Yeah.
sleep and all of that. I'm like, okay. And I actually look for the scores now. Like I don't use it all the time, but when I do, I love seeing the scores of my REM is like very high. I'm like, yes, good quality sleep.
Yes.
So I love it.
Yes. No,
So it sounds like you have
absolutely.
a really good solid routine. I love it. We can definitely learn a lot from you. I am going to be sure to link some of the blog posts that you mentioned once I go post this live. So, is there anything else you'd want our audience to know about you? Anything else that you're doing or want to share, or something that you'd like them to take away from this?
I think the biggest takeaway probably I would like to share with your audience is I have a mantra in my life knowledge without action is powerless. And the purpose with me to launch this blog and share all the learnings through this blog is only to help you to take action. I personally see, and I have been to many self development seminars, conferences. I
Mm-hmm.
had many coaches and mentors in my life as well who helped me to come to get me where I am right now. But again, everything comes down to whether you're taking action or not. And again, that action could be just one simple, small one action, but the key is that you do it consistently. Otherwise, I can sit here and watch all the YouTube videos. I can consume all the knowledge, and there's no shortage of information, particularly in these days. But what you do with that information is really going to make the difference for you. And I personally believe to start building an abundant and fulfilling life. Yes, you can have a coach like us, or you can have mentors, which I definitely recommend everyone should have in
Agreed.
different aspects of their life if they need any help for extra guidance. But again, at the end of the day, I believe there are a lot of useful information already out there, free of cost, that doesn't really require anyone to spend any money. So there should not be any excuse to
Right.
not to do any tax action. And if you go through my blog, Pursue Yourself, and one of my biggest secret for my coaching as well, all the tools and techniques and wisdom I refer mostly is free of charge. You just need a willpower and a
Yes, the
decision that you
discipline.
wanted to make yeah, exactly, discipline that you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make a difference in your life, and then you don't really need anything. Yes, you can buy all the fancy stuff, gears and tools and everything you can buy, but to get started, you really don't need anything. You just need yourself, your mindset, and your determination, and that's it.
Love it. So true. So, so true. My friend and I, we were talking recently, like, so I'm rereading some books that I've read in the past just so that I could actually go through and highlight and take notes and apply them because you're right. A lot of times we take in all of this information, but we're not applying it. So it's like, okay, you're learning all this stuff, but do something with it, you know? So I love that you said that. So thank you for that. So thank you. I really appreciate your time today and for you showing up. And I look forward to continuing to learn from you going forward. Any
Absolutely, it's been a really pleasure, and I'm so grateful for having this connection with you. And that's again the power of social media. I always believed in this power. We have all these great tools and resources on our hand. And I definitely believe in more goodness than probably the side effect aspect of the social media. So thank you so much for the connection and reaching out to me to have this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.